this. How about that? The only force acting on the object is what? Gravity. Good. What's the acceleration of all objects in free fall? G is equal to what? Technically 9.81 meters per second squared, but we often use what in this class? Approximately 10. 10 is typically what we use. Okay? So let's make sure we understand what's going on here. We've got a situation of free fall here. And this is very similar to the type of lab you were going to be doing. So, which is another reason why I thought, nah, this will be easy enough. We can talk about it. Person throws the ball upward near the edge of a building as shown. Ignore air resistance and use G as 10 meters per second squared. The first white dot is the position of the ball when it leaves the thrower's hand. Every white dot after that, every second. So this is 0 seconds, isn't it? Which makes this 1 second, 2 seconds it's at the top, 3 seconds, and what? 4 seconds, and after 5 seconds it hits the ground, doesn't it? All right, so I'm going to tell you this thing starts at a positive 20 meters per second. Now, gravity is 10 meters per second squared, which we said means that these velocities, so this is starting at 20 meters per second in the upward direction. Which way does gravity act? Downward. So what is technically acceleration by gravity doing every time? It's a negative 10 meters per second squared, isn't it? Does that change? So if this is constant acceleration, which it is because it's in free fall, isn't it? Everything there is negative 10 in that column. Okay? Now, after 10, so for the first second, the velocity is going to change by negative 10 meters per second, right? So what is the velocity going to be at 1 second? It's going to be 10, isn't it? And then in the next second, it's also going to change by 10 meters per second. So what is its velocity at the top of its arc? Doesn't that make sense? And then what is the velocity in the next second? It's going to change by negative 10, so it is negative 10 meters per second. Why did the sign change on the velocity? Now it's going downward. It's showing the change in direction, isn't it? Then it's going to change again by negative 10 meters per second in that next second. So what's the velocity going to be at 4 seconds? Yeah, negative 20 meters per second. And it's going to change again, another negative 10 meters per second. So what's it going to be at 5 seconds? Negative 30 meters per second. So let's fill in our velocity. It goes from 20 to 10, from 10 to 0, to negative 10, to negative 20, to negative 30. Now what's the only difference between the velocity and the speed? Speed is always what? Positive. So there's no change here for the first three, but then after that it becomes positive, doesn't it? So everybody understands the progression here. 20 minus 10 gives me this, 10 minus 10 gives me that, 0 minus 10 gives me this, and so on, correct? Let's look at what the velocity graph looks like for this thing before we fill in the rest of these from our table. Let's look at the velocity graph. The velocity graph here, velocity in meters per second, time in seconds. So my velocity started at what? It started at 20, positive 20 here, so there's 10, negative 20, negative 30, okay? Where did my velocity, and then we went what? 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, 4 seconds, 5 seconds? Where did my velocity end at 5 seconds? Down here at -30, didn't it? And what did we say about, where was it at 0? At 2 seconds? It's at 0. So I want you to look at this. What's happening here? If we connect these dots, what do you see? You see a line, a diagonal line, don't you? What do you think the slope of that diagonal line is going to be? 10 meters per second, -10, isn't it? Which is our acceleration, isn't it? Now, I want you to notice something that gives everybody fits. And I get the wrong answer on this all the time. At the very top up here of this graph, what is the velocity of that ball at the very peak of its flight? What is the acceleration? Huh. Do you know how many times people go, I go, what's the acceleration? And they go, 0. What would that ball be doing if there was 0 acceleration, 0 gravity? It would just sit there. You ever thrown a ball up and it just goes up and then just stops and stays there? All the time, right? Yeah. You're special then. Never. Is the acceleration ever going to be 0 in free fall? No. Never 0. Can the velocity be 0? Yeah. Sometimes the velocity is 0 in one direction. If I throw it that way, guess what? At the top of its peak, the velocity this way is 0, but it still has velocity this way. Otherwise, would it keep going forward? No. Guess what though? Gravity is still gravity the whole way through. Okay? So don't be that person who goes, when I go, what's the acceleration? You go, 0! Because I'm going to be like, really? You're just going to float there. Do you know that gravity still isn't 0 when you're weightless in space? There's just enough force counteracting the gravitational force to cancel it out. And therefore you just seem to float. The vomit comet, y'all know what the vomit comet is, don't you? Y'all don't know what the vomit comet is? The vomit comet is when they take the planes up and they go really, 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 really fast in sections, and they'll go up and they'll do a dive or something, and the reason they're doing those steep climbs or steep downs all of a sudden is to counteract gravity, the force of gravity. So you basically, for a few seconds at a time, feel weightless. You act weightless. But guess what? Are you really weightless? Well, technically from the standpoint of, yeah, you're not going to register anything on the scale because gravity and whatever else are, this is acting opposite this, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. Same thing in space. We're far enough away from the Earth that it is small enough gravitational field that it doesn't take much to counteract it. Okay? And it counteracts it a lot of times because you're either moving far enough away that there just isn't enough from the propulsion of the spacecraft, or if you're in orbit, the centripetal force pushing back to counteract that force, and you are effectively weightless. But there's always gravity. Always. Okay? Now, the further away you get from Earth, the less that gravity is. Eventually, it gets effectively 0. Now, let's fill the rest of this in so we can get on to the best part of today, which is the graphs. During what time interval is the object in free fall? The whole time, right? So what would that be? 0 to 5 seconds. All right. When the ball is at its highest point, what is its velocity? Each second, the ball's velocity is doing what? Yeah. Decreases by 10 meters per second, right? Now, a way of thinking of that, people get weird about this because in this direction, you're like, well, but it's going up. Decreasing by 10 is the same as subtracting 10, isn't it? And if you're subtracting 10 in the negative direction, aren't you effectively getting more negative, which is actually speeding up in the negative direction? So don't be fooled by that. Speed is almost the same as velocity except for what? Yeah, without the sign, right? What does the sign indicate? It's what? On velocity, the sign indicates its direction. What's the ball's acceleration each time? So how does the ball's acceleration vary with time? No. Does it vary with time? So if I were to graph acceleration, if I were to take this and graph the acceleration graph for this, acceleration with respect to time, I would have a line down here, straight line at what? -10, wouldn't I? And if I wanted to know how it varies with time, that would be a slope, wouldn't it? Well, what is the slope of that horizontal line? Oh, and look at those accelerations. Are those accelerations changing? So it varies with time as 0. And by the way, the slope of an acceleration time graph would be a jerk. Don't be a jerk. Now, can the height of the building be found? You know what? The answer to that is yes, it can. You know how? What do we know? Velocity is equal to what? Change of position over change in time. But this is not any velocity. This is v average, isn't it? So can we rearrange this to get the height of the building? Can we rearrange this to get delta x? What would it be? Yeah, v average times delta t. So we just need to find v average. V average is going to be what? The average of the initial and the final velocities. So there we're going to add the initial and final velocity together and divide by 2. What was the initial speed? Or velocity, excuse me. What's the final velocity? So we end up with an average velocity of -5 meters per second, don't we? So let's take that and put it in here. -5 meters per second, and let's include our units here so we know that we're doing this right. -5 meters per second times what? What's our change in time? Yep. Seconds and seconds go away, and we're left with -25 meters. Now, some of you are going to be like, -25 meters? How can the building be -25 meters? Which way are we measuring it? Where was our 0 point? Look on your graph. Look on your picture. Where was the 0 point? 0 point was at the... So if we're measuring 0 at the top, and we're measuring downward, aren't we? So does that make sense now? So what is the actual height of the building? 25 meters. So understand what you're reading and why it came out negative. So it is technically the height is 25 meters. The change in height was -25. The height is going to be so what does the velocity time graph look like for an object that is in free fall? Guess what? Didn't we just draw that? What does it look like for an object that is in free fall? It looks like that. It is a velocity graph that has a straight line whose slope is what? -10. So it has a linear, it is a linear graph whose slope equals -10. Or technically -9.8, right? Are we good with this? So far? Throw a lot of information at you, but it's kind of interesting if you think about it. Now we're going to start the fun. At this point, I am going to all right. So we're looking at graph 4, and the slope is starting as what? Positive, and it's going towards 0, and then it's going where again? Towards positive, and then it's going towards what again? So positive to 0 to positive again to 0. Which graph? Good. See, not as bad as you thought. Okay, C. Now, then let's look at C. What's the slope here? Negative, this slope is, and this slope is. So negative, positive, negative is which? Yep, negative, positive, negative. Negative, positive, negative. Okay, so this is X. All right, so which velocity graph goes with the last one? D, right? It starts at what? 0. Eventually goes to a long period of negative, excuse me. I put positive. I don't know what I'm thinking. Thank goodness it's the weekend. And then ends up eventually going to where? And then starts to go what? Starts to go positive. So 0, a lot of negative, period of negative, to 0, back to 0, and then starts to go positive. That's what this is, isn't it? Starts at 0, goes to a negative, stays at a negative, goes to 0, and then goes positive, doesn't it? That matches. So now, what are my slopes here? A long line of positive. -0, positive. That would be graph what? Z. So Z was used again. Okay. Do you feel like you sort of understand what's going on now with these graphs? You've got that piece of paper. That graphic is going to help you when you're doing these. Notice the shapes. Do you notice the ones with the shapes? Let me go back to that other graphic, and I want you to notice one more thing. We've got a few minutes, and this is the last thing we're going to talk about.